Today we're going to be taking a look at the Milwaukee Tool cordless die grinder. And this is going to be kind of a more of a long-term real world experience of myself, and I'm also going to do a battery test at the end of the video. So stick around and check this one out. So I received this tool from Milwaukee pretty much right when it came out. So I've had it for a decent amount of time now. I've really got to use it quite a bit, and I've pretty much exclusively used this for my die grinder. I made a video right when I got this tool. The battery test at the end is actually from that original video that I did. I never put the video up originally because after I used the tool a little more, I just felt like the information I gave was not very good. And my initial impression of this tool was honestly not very good. But after I've used it, my opinion on it has changed, and I've really grown to like the tool. But I'll tell you guys why I didn't like it to begin with, but what changed my mind to like it now. So if you've done any research on this tool at all, I'm sure you've seen people talking about the fact that this tool will kind of shut itself off if it gets overloaded, or a certain amount of torque is applied on it in the wrong way. It's kind of like a fail-safe mode, if you want to say. And when I first got this, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And I'm laying into stuff with it, and I have one of these green discs right here on it. I'm laying into some wheels, kind of cleaning up the beads and stuff, and it just keeps on kicking off on me. And I'm like, man, this tool, I don't think this is really going to be that great. But really, I just realized I was using the tool improperly, and there's really a time and a place for this tool. And honestly, the time and place is mostly all the time, but there's some areas that it doesn't do the greatest in. Now, I will say when you're using the bristle pads or a bigger attachment on here, if you're really laying into the tool, which you really don't have to, you can kind of let the tool do the work. I mean, if you use die grinders and stuff, you understand what I'm saying. It's really improper use of the tool that causes it to kick off on you, but that's just there for the tool's safety. Because if this tool just kept going and kept going, you would eventually burn the motor up in there. And if anybody has any experience with snap-on polisher, you probably know what I'm talking about, because those things like to burn up. A coworker I used to work with had one, and I think he went through 2 or 3 motors in it. Just kept burning it up, and a lot of that is due to the fact that it doesn't have that built into it. It doesn't have that safety built into it like this does. So I've really grown to like the safety, and honestly, since I've got used to the tool and kind of learned how to use it, it never kicks off on me, because I know how to use the tool. I know its limitations, and I've really grown to love this tool, and it has saved me a ton of time with not having to grab a hose and pull it around the shop, and just having this right there in my tool cart ready to go. I love it. I use it almost every day, and I have zero complaints about it. I think it's a great tool. I think Milwaukee did a great job on it. Now, really, the only time I pick up, a regular die grinder would be if this one is too big. So, reach in here real quick. My toolbox is a disaster right now. It's really bothering me. But we'll get into that another time. So as you can see, look, I don't even have anything in it. That shows you how much I use it now. Obviously there is a pretty good size difference. So if you're in a tight area, you might have to grab an air. You might have to grab an air die grinder. But most places you can fit this. There's just been very few really tight spots that I couldn't get it in. Overall, for being, everything that this tool has in it, it is a pretty compact size, really. And I do have a big battery in it. I normally run a 4.0 or a 6.0 battery. You just get more run time, and I honestly don't have an issue with running through batteries. And you know, at the end of this video you'll see a full battery test. I'm not going to cut it at all. It'll be, you know, start to finish. And I'm going to leave a little bit of some of the stuff I had to say about the tool at that time in the video at the end too. So I'll just kind of let that part take over when we get there. But, you know, all in all, long-term review, I've had 0 issues with this tool. I have no complaints with it. Just learn how to use the tool, you know its limitations, and I think you'll really love it. I've actually been thinking about getting 1 or 2 more just so I can have different attachments on it. You know, that would definitely be excessive for, you know, a DIYer, but someone like me, or, you know, a lot of people watching this that do this type of stuff professionally, having a couple of these that have different attachments already loaded on them, ready to go, is a big time saver. I would definitely recommend buying this tool. I would not second guess yourself. If you're thinking about buying one, get it. You're going to be happy with it. It's a great tool. It's the best thing out on the market right now. When, as you know, as this video is posted, whatever day it's posted, as of right now, it's the best thing on the market. I don't think you're going to find anything else that is going to compete with this or do a better job. So I think that's really all I have to say about it. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the battery test video, and we'll let that footage end out the video. Alright, so as you can see in that video, this thing went for a little over 5 minutes, and I did have that on setting 4 right there. I can throw up a picture right now of all the different speeds of the different settings. I'm not going to go into all of that. I also will throw up a picture of recommended uses for this tool as far as attachment pads go. So that'll be up on the screen right now too, so you can check out those recommended uses for this tool. And I think that's the main thing with this tool, is you need to make sure you're using the right attachment for this tool and you're not trying to turn this into something that it's not. I mean, this is a angle die grinder, and that's pretty much what it does. As you can see, I cleaned up all these rotors front and back, and I mean, I laid on them pretty heavy, and it never stalled once with these just sanding pads on here, little 2-inch sanding pads. Obviously this tool can perform, I mean, it still has, even though, I mean, it's flashing at me, but it's still got juice in it. Even though it stopped, you know, I was just going until it told me, you know, the battery's done. And that was around 5 minutes of basically continuously, you know, sanding pretty heavily on it. You know, I think good 5, 6, 7 minutes of runtime under, you know, heavy sanding is pretty good. And that's just on a 2.0 battery. You know, you could put a 3.0, 4.0, 6.0 on it and get even more runtime. For the most part, I'll probably run a 6.0 on it just to have that extra runtime. And I think it'll get me through pretty much any sanding job that I'm working on. I think this is an awesome tool. I think that Milwaukee did a good job on making a tool that's not going to self-destruct, and it's not going to burn up after, you know, a couple weeks of using it. Because even after sanding for, you know, 6 minutes straight, the tool really wasn't that hot. Like, it had a little bit of heat to it, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, this thing's going to burn up. So I think they did a really good job with the design and making sure that it's going to last for you and not just burn up like others do. If you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching. Have a great day.